Hi there and welcome back to Valley por Vida. Now last month, which just ended yesterday, was National Kidney Month, but the things that we learned will stick with us forever to help us lead healthier lives. But what does National Kidney Month mean exactly? And how can we extend that knowledge from our newfound awareness to every single day? Well, for starters, did you know that diet and exercise play a role in your kidney health? But it's also impacted by, get this, your environment. That's right, something like the noise around you can have just as much of an impact on your overall health, yet we don't hear about stuff like that very often. So we went ahead and spoke with environmental specialist Douglas Mulhall for an inside look at our health for National Kidney Month.
Well, my name is Douglas Mulhall. I've been working in the environmental health field for the past 30 years, basically co-inventing and co-developing products, buildings, and systems that let people live a healthier life. And today, we're actually going to be talking about some exciting new developments in the field of heart health in relationship to the environment. There are basically three things. First thing is that with kidney disease, actually the biggest problem is heart disease. Most people who have severe kidney disease do not die of kidney disease. They die of heart disease, of hardening of the arteries. A lot of people don't know that. So when you look at this illness, that's really the biggest threat. The second thing is that this vicious cycle, this relationship between heart and kidney disease that play off on each other, is triggered by the body's immune response to environmental factors, basically to environmental assaults. And the third thing is that standard conventional therapies are not designed to deal with that defective immune response. But the good news is that there are solutions out there. They do exist today, and there are even more coming down the pipe in R&D, and we'll be talking about that in a moment. Well, this problem has been with us, as far as we know, since human civilization started. So thousands of years ago, we're finding mummified remains that show that people who are relatively young had a hardening of the arteries and had heart disease. You can see the outline of the calcium.
Again, he says that environmental pollutants are a risk to our kidneys, and this is honestly just something that we never really think about. Honestly, there's a lot about our organs and our kidneys in particular that we naturally don't think about on a daily basis. But in honor of this recent observance, we thought that we'd enlighten you with today's Did You Know segment. So according to mentalfloss.com, our pair of kidneys are actually lopsided. What that means is they're asymmetrical most of the time. See, they're located in our lower back and right below our rib cage, but the site outlines that our right kidneys tend to be smaller than the other and usually sit a little lower than our left, just to leave room for our liver, which is really interesting. And get this, apparently if we have one side of our body that's a little bulkier in that area, then that's usually the right side because of that bigger kidney. But because the left one, has a little bit more room below, and that's for our spleen. And apparently there's a reason why we really only need one kidney to live. The site says that most people have 2 kidneys when we're born, but we can do with just one because each one of our kidneys has about 1.5 million blood filtering units called nephrons. I hope I pronounced that right. And basically this helps us remove waste products from our blood as they pass through our organs. And did you know the kidneys really work hard? Okay, get this. They filter about 45 gallons of blood per day. The site also says that the heart is, of course, the organ that pumps out the most blood through our bodies, but hey, kidneys do their thing too. In fact, they filter a half a cup per per minute, which is about 45 gallons per day, like I said earlier. And in case you're curious about just how much that is, the site says it's enough to fill a small bathtub. And get this is one that kind of threw me for a bit. Apparently, according to the site, drinking too much water can actually be bad for our kidneys. It says that even though we're supposed to stay hydrated, to keep them working, when we drink too much H2O, it can cause a condition where our kidneys can't flush it out fast enough. So, moral of the story here, too much of anything, even a good thing, can be bad. So, of course, moderation is key. And lastly, for our Did You Know segment, this is a beneficial one to keep in mind. See, the site says that too much of any type of drug can be harmful to our kidneys. So if you're prone to taking, things like ibuprofen or aspirin a lot, for headaches or stomach aches and something like that, then maybe consult with your doctor about it first, just to make sure that you're okay. But there are a lot of other things and conditions that, can have a negative impact on our overall health. It's nothing to be concerned about if you're aware, though. So we're about to learn about one in particular with today's Health Check segment.
Hi, I'm Dr. Vicki Peterson. I wanted to talk to you about my new book, and it is not released yet, but this is an early copy. And it's about a condition called Hiatal Hernia syndrome, which there's very little understanding about what this actually means. So that's why we wrote the book. And a hiatal hernia is what happens is that a hernia is something protruding through an area that it shouldn't. So a hiatal hernia is when the stomach is moving too high and it goes over your diaphragm and pushing up on your esophagus. And the classic symptom that creates is acid reflux or GERD, but it creates so much more than that. So in addition to acid reflux, which is treated by antacids, you can have shortness of breath, you can have heart palpitations, you can have panic attacks, and these are things that wouldn't, from a conventional medicine model, make you think it was digestive in nature. So if you're having anxiety and you're having panic attacks, the first thought is not, oh, it's your stomach, but it really is, and it's quite epidemic. We treat people from across the country, all over the world, and so at the root of this condition, which literally has 20 different symptoms associated with it, at the root of it is a digestive issue, and sometimes muscle and or nerve problem as well, because the diaphragm is that sheet of muscle that has to freely move in order for you to get enough oxygen, and when that's not occurring, the body goes into a stress response, and that's why you can get the panic attacks or the feeling of anxiety. But at its root is that stomach, and we have to figure out why it's irritated. So that can be anything from food sensitivities, overeating, a poor diet.
All right, that's all for our health check, and that's all for our show. Thanks so much for joining us today, and be sure to tune in again next time because we'll have a lot more in store for you. But for now, don't forget to follow our team on social media for exclusive behind-the-scenes sneak peeks at what we're filming for the show, and for your chance at your comment or even your question to be featured on air. And of course, you can always visit valleycentral.com to rewatch some of your favorite segments. We've got all that and so much more next time on Valley por Vida. We'll see you then.